So, Tom, that's really fascinating, the whole concept of quantum mechanics and so forth. Even I understood it, which is quite a lot.
You're doing well.
Yes, you're doing well. But how do you use that? I mean, how does that apply quantum mechanics?
Okay. Well, I suppose the first thing to realize is that the stuff that is not you is not absolute. It's relative to you in some way. So this could almost be like the theory of relativity. Different things.
Don't lose me now.
Different things mean different things to different people. I'll give you a story about this. Let's say we've got a guy who's worked as a waiter in a restaurant here in Austin, and he wants to be an actor, but he's not being able to get work. So he starts off as a waiter. He finds, 30 years later, he's still a waiter. But he's always wanted to have a really nice car, a Chrysler, maybe a $30,000 Chrysler, blue, shiny, metallic one. Nothing super flash, but it's a good car. So he saves $100 a month. And like in 30 years or something like that, he's got, I haven't done the maths, but he's got enough money with interest saved up to buy it. So he gets this and he takes it home and it's beautiful. Now you've got, say, one of my friends or equivalents who's been to a really top university, and they've been a banker and they've made a lot of money, and they worked for Lehman Brothers.
Okay.
And a couple of years ago, there were a few problems with the finance. And guess what happened?
Daisy.
They had to sell one of their houses and maybe some of their holiday homes, and had to sell 2 or 3 of their cars, had to sell their Porsche and the Bentley Turbo and this, and they had to settle for a Chrysler, a blue, shiny, $30,000 Chrysler. It's the same car, right? But to the guy who's saved for 30 years, what sort of feelings does that create with him?
Yeah.
He feels fantastic. He's
it.
achieved, he's done all these wonderful things. So the guy who's had to sell his Porsche, every time he looks at that, it's failure, it's disappointment, it's a tragedy. It's the same car. The feelings don't exist in the actual thing, the feelings exist in the relationship. So it's basically you, the observer, the experiment. The experiment, what's going on. So what you do, to use this, you use something called the QMR, the Quantum Mechanics Reframer. Knowing that it's not the thing itself that creates the feelings, you can reframe it. You have the ability to reframe it so that it creates different feelings. And it's kind of very simple. This already exists in our language. We use it all the time in English, oh, well, look on the bright side, right? It could have been worse. But a lot of the time, that doesn't make people feel good, because the script will say to them, well, not much worse. Yeah, thanks. Cheer up, could have been worse. Oh.
Yeah.
But if you're hearing something, actually, no. If I then use the quantum mechanics reframer to reframe the situation, it will actually create different feelings. Like when my car blew up a couple of days ago. I'm coming to this event and I've got to be there in time, and the car, which we don't use very often because obviously we're in England most of the year, and it was running fine the first day. Second day, I started losing power, and I'm thinking I'm on I-35 and I'm losing power, and because I'm losing the voltage, the amp light comes up, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, because it's such an enormous car. If you lose power, you've got no brakes, you've got no steering, all this sort of stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm not going to make it. Anyway, we got there. I got to the hotel. I got there in good time, and I managed to park. And then I'm thinking, instead of thinking, oh, because I was thinking this is a nightmare, what are we going to do? I was then thinking, you know what? Let's reframe this. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. It could have been Cindy with the 3 kids driving tomorrow. We might not have been in I-35 traffic, which meant I might have been doing 60 or 70 when I kind of lost the power and then not be able to steer it. So that ability to reframe the external events is a very powerful tool. So that's how we use the QMR, the quantum mechanics to a moment-to-moment situation.
Yeah, applied quantum mechanics.
Yeah, there you go.